Hello and welcome to Blarney TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle just lost 3-1 away from home to Stevenage Town, and that has got to be one of the worst performances of the season. And I think I've been saying that a lot recently, but today it was especially bad because we had a man sent off in the first 20 minutes, which is always it's never a good thing, is it? But no, and pretty much straight after that, Stevenage scored an absolute great goal. Magnus Norman didn't even move. We then proceeded to get one back, and then pretty much immediately after us scoring, they scored another one which Magnus Norman didn't move for. And then after a while, they went on to score the third, which went through Magnus Norman's hands. But look, you can't put all the blame on the keeper today. He didn't have a good game at all, to be honest with you. I think he should have at least tried for the first two, and I think the third goal probably wasn't his fault as much as people might think. But from what I saw, he ran out and it sort of went through his arm, sort of there. I might have been saying that wrong, but that's what I thought I saw on the cameras. But for the first two, we just didn't even move. But defensive performance, obviously, Rod McDonald getting sent off in the first 20 minutes was just what. Why do that? You know, we go down to 10 men, and I knew we weren't going to win when we went down to 10 men, and it got to the point where I just really didn't want to watch anymore, but I had to, because, you know, if you choose to be a Carlisle fan, you've definitely been in this position before where you just don't want to continue watching. And I'm sure most fans of clubs have, but I feel like as a Carlisle fan that happens more than it probably should. But, you know, for our goal, if you want to look at the positives, Brennan Dickinson and Ofrande Zanzala linking up again, them two are in good form, and they seem to complement each other really well. All 5 subs made today, all probably Gimme Toure taken off after 20 minutes to put Hayden on the pitch. Obviously, I don't think Toure did much wrong, and he didn't really have much time at the start of the match to prove himself. From what I saw, he made a few good passes, but, you know, with the form Dickinson and Zanzala are showing at the moment, you can't take them off, and he needed to take one of the front 3 off to, you know, get that defence back. And, you know, if you want to look at positives, and which I really kind of don't, they haven't conceded a goal in, I think, 6 games. I think saw some 10 hours of football they haven't conceded, and we've ended that run. But they've scored 3, and I think that their last 3 results they haven't scored, and it's been 0-0, and we've somehow conceded 3 to them. Stevenage, a team that probably shouldn't be in the league, some people would say, but then at the same time we've just lost badly to a team that shouldn't be in the league. But Stevenage aren't a good side, they're very poor. They're alright defensively, but their attackers aren't great, and they've put 3 past our defence, which again looked like an absolute shambles today. And it certainly didn't help us going a man down, but, you know, it's our fault. It wasn't a bad decision from the ref or anything like that. It was McDonald taking down his man when he was 1-on-1. Like, we might see more clips come out of that, of maybe it was a dive, but if the ref is right, which I suspect he might be, then it is his fault, and I mean, well, he's got no choice if he's dropped or not because he's suspended, but Hayden will definitely come back into the side. I think there's 3, possibly 4 players that are doing well at the moment for Carlisle. That's Zanzala, Dickinson, Guy, and maybe Riley, if you want to put him in there. The rest of the team is badly off form. A player today that I didn't think played well at all, but has played well recently, is Jack Armour. Some of his passes today were just abysmal, and I remember one from a free kick. I think it was Dickinson that took it, squared it to Armour, and he just let it go out for a Stevenage throw-in. I think he let it go over his foot or something like that. But it was stupid today. Magnus Norman, I suspect he will be dropped for Farman, which is a real shame because I like Norman. I like Magnus Norman, and I think I would rather have a young goalkeeper as our first choice than one coming towards the end of his career. But, you know, Farman is the better keeper at the minute anyways, and I can't even blame Magnus Norman, to be honest with you, because you can't really expect a player who's been injured for a long period of time and then to come back from that and then not play for ages, you can't expect him to be on top form. I think if you were gonna have Magnus Norman as your first choice, you should have been playing him a hell of a lot earlier than what you have been playing in the season. Because when you introduce a new keeper to a new side that hasn't played in the league before, he's gonna make mistakes, and he's gonna do shit like he did today. And I don't think it's entirely his fault today. But our defence just looked awful. And I know Chris Beach is going to use the red card as an excuse, because that's what it is, and I don't blame him for using that as an excuse, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a ready-made excuse. He has that now that he can then use as an excuse, and if he can use that in his interview as a way of sort of deflecting the blame, and if a manager's presented with that opportunity, they are going to take it in this sort of form. So 1 wins from 11 now, and I think promotion chase is probably all but over now. And there's always been something for me about being a mid-table side, too good to get relegated, not good enough to get promoted, where it's sort of a more relaxed experience watching the team, because it doesn't really matter. But we've been in that for so long now, and not caring about what the result isn't great. And it's really, really damaging supporting Carlisle, because it's, as they say, it's the hope that kills you. And when we have these constant fast starts, awful second halves of the seasons, we get our hopes up and then we're crushed back down. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say today. Poor performance from everybody involved, really, apart from the 4 players. The subs that came on late on, I can't say anything bad against them because they didn't have enough time. But yeah, that's all for today. In a bit.